I ain't talking about sticking up nobody. I'm talking about getting yourself a plan. You can't get over this way. Try to outside man. You can't do well because it won't feed you. And hope alone, I know sure won't heal you. You're pushing the limits on you. Want that? Sometimes it comes, but don't wait on it to see it all about later. Well, all the pressure can get later. You see, it's all about later. You better go get your song. Get your song. Sweet time soon. You go back later. Why do you go? It's not labor. When a veteran is born, it's just a longer. Gives you a better chance to get what you want. See, it's all about labor. Well, all the pressure can get later. You see, it's all about labor. You better go get your song. Get your song. Then just keep it lazy. That's my brain. Won't I say it? One more you can, then just keep on learning. The more you learn, the more you learn. See, it's all about the people. Well, all the pressure can get later. You see, it's all about the people. You better go get your song. Get your song. Keep on learning. The more you learn, the more you learn. See, it's all about the paper. Well, all the pressure can get later. You see, it's all about the paper. You better go get your song. Get your song. All about the paper. Well, all the pressure can get later. You see, it's all about the paper. You better go get your song. Get your song. All about the paper. Well, all the pressure can get later. You see, it's all about the paper. You better go get your song. Get your song. I ain't talking about sticking up nobody. I'm talking about getting yourself a plan. You can't get over this way. Trying, I smile and see it all about
That's great. Yeah, and this is not even a fake out. This is real this time. We're getting things started, so cheer louder. Excellent. How you guys doing? Newbies who weren't here the last time I got up here, how are you doing? Nice. I'm going to say it again. For anybody in the way back, come on forward. Pull it up. Let's be a nice big Yang Gang family here. Yang Gang. Yang Gang. Yang Gang. Yang Gang. Yang Gang. Bring enthusiasm. Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for being here tonight. A big thank you to Pershing Square for hosting us tonight. Let's give it up for Pershing Square. A big thank you to the weather for holding up. Though I guess it's LA. Is weather in LA always this nice? That's so annoying. It's like not in the suburbs? Yeah, all right, fair enough. And a huge thank you to the SoCal Yang Gang, who I'm going to be bringing up a couple of those folks in a minute to speak about it. They were hugely helpful in organizing this entire thing. So give it up for the SoCal Yang Gang. Awesome. And thank you to our volunteers, also a part of the SoCal Yang Gang. So I'm going to get us started here because you seem like a pretty revved up crowd. So I don't think I need to do too much warming up for you all. I think you're revved and warmed. Yeah. Awesome. So I'm going to go right into introducing our first two speakers, who are the leaders of our SoCal Yang Gang. Again, I cannot thank them enough for the work they put into making this whole thing happen. And they're going to talk about how to get involved, why they love Andrew. So give it up for Seth and Sam coming up here from the SoCal Yang Gang.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sam, and this is Seth, and we both basically organized the SoCal Yang Gang from the ground up. The Yang Gang situation, Kai, I see you right there. What's up? What's up, man? This is the guy who controls all our money. So be careful. But you know, like, it was so strange. LA Metro is a huge area with a lot of people. But we just found a lot of small Yang Gangs just scattered about, not talking to anybody, not talking to each other. And we thought, okay, traffic's horrible, right? Traffic sucks. Everything is so far away. You need a car. Many of us can't afford cars. I have a car, but, you know. But, you know, I actually had a speech, but I actually lost it somewhere in the crowd. This is not a shtick. I'm actually improvising. Yeah. But, you know, on a more serious note, we all come from very diverse backgrounds, different, even political backgrounds. I'm a former Trump supporter. Can you believe that? Oh, right. Yeah. I was stuck in that illusion, too. But, you know, the Yang tent, if I can coin that, is a Y tent. And it brings people from all different political backgrounds, all different ethnic backgrounds, all different religious backgrounds. Not because we're voting for, you know, person X who checks YZ boxes, right? We're voting for a person who has ideas, real ideas that we can all get behind. And, you know, join our group. Join the Southern California Yang Gang. We're growing, and we need leaders in every neighborhood to target every group, because we want to elect Andrew Yang come 2020. And, you know, this is my first time organizing an event. Definitely any event, like even 20 people. Like I just suck. I had a house party once. It was the worst house party ever. But this is amazing. But joining this group, I really grew as a person, and I think every person can grow when they join something that is larger than themselves. Yeah, let's get a hand for that. I didn't know I could be a motivational speaker. All right. But no, really, seriously, joining this group really kind of clued us into a lot of the struggles that everyday people are going through. Like, you know, I know at least I live in a bubble. Like, I lived in New York and I moved to Los Angeles. But joining this group, we became aware that there's members of our community right here that are facing automation. We just went to a dock workers protest on the 16th, 1 week ago, and they're basically staring down the face of what Andrew's talking about the truckers that's going to happen in 2-3 years. They're looking at their jobs being automated today. And, you know, like, it's a hard line to toe. We all want cheaper goods. We all want things to move faster. We all want things to move better. But when it comes at the expense of communities and destroying literally the beating hearts of communities, then there has to be some sort of negotiation there. Yeah, so we're going to have another rally for them too, for solidarity. But I'm probably going way over my time. I'm sorry, Carly. Seth?
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I also have never volunteered for a political campaign before. I've never donated to a political campaign before. So why exactly am I here? So why exactly am I here? Thank you. I see a lot of suffering around our country, this city, just blocks from here. It looks really lovely with these palm trees, but there's a lot of suffering going on. And I've kind of given up hope that our government is going to do a darn thing about it. And when I talk to the people I know, my friends, my coworkers, people from all different age groups and economic backgrounds, political backgrounds, we talk about the future and we talk about robotics and AI. We talk about the environment. We talk about our dysfunctional political system. We talk about the hate in our communities. And these conversations always kind of end the same way. We throw up our hands and we agree we're screwed. And it's often the only thing we can actually agree upon. But it doesn't have to be this way. This is America. This is the greatest country in the history of the world, the richest country in the history of the world. So I've known about Andrew Yang for a while now. And to be quite honest, for a long time, I didn't really think he was going to get a chance to be heard. And then something truly miraculous happened. Just in the last couple of weeks, you all showed up. People from every political background, people of all ages, people who have never voted before, all coming together to support this candidate. I've never seen anything like it. It's truly amazing. I talk to people every single day who, quite like me, have said, I've never donated to a campaign before. I've never volunteered for a campaign before, but this is different. Here's this guy who's just speaking honestly about what he sees going on in the world. He speaks like a normal human being, a compassionate human being who has thought long and hard about what's going on in our world and is offering common sense solutions. He's the only politician I know of who's even willing to admit the magnitude of the issues we face. And that's not even my favorite part about Andrew Yang. My personal favorite part is that I honestly and truly believe he cares about me. And he cares about my family. And he cares about you. And he cares about your families. And he damn well cares about America. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I want to thank everyone working on this campaign all over the country. I want to thank Andrew Yang. Standing here tonight, there is not a doubt in my mind that Andrew Yang can be our next president. And because of that, for the first time in my adult life, I have true hope. Hope backed up by math. For my future, for our country's future, and for our world's future. So thank you all very, very much. Thank you, Andrew Yang. Thank you.
Dang, thank you both. Thank you, Seth and Sam. Truly, they have been incredible to work with putting this all together. So major thank you to them. Next up, we have the founder of the organization Building the Floor. He has been a huge advocate of UBI for many years, a great supporter of the campaign. Give a very warm welcome to Larry Cohen.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry Cohen. And thank you guys. What's up? And I am a supporter of Andrew Yang because I believe Andrew Yang in this campaign has the big, the bold, and the necessary ideas for us to move forward into our future together. So I don't know about a lot of you, but I used to have a job where I was trained for a couple of years in a specific area, in a specific niche of a job, and I thought that job was going to be secure. I learned, I studied hard, I did everything right, and I quickly learned as watching all the news come out about technology and automation and innovation, all these things taking place where I could see the future not too far down the road. My job was going to be automated. My job, for no other reason other than that work could be done better by a machine, was going to disappear. And I did not see or hear any politician addressing this critical issue. Not just for me, but for the millions of Americans today who are dealing with this economic disruption. That's right, and it sounds like there's some of you out here today. And this disruption doesn't need to be a bad thing. This can be a great thing for all of us to get behind if we have a system in place where we all benefit, where we all prosper from automation and technology and the advancements that we together can do. Leave the labor to the robots so that the rest of us can do the living. So I met Andrew a couple of years ago learning about basic income. And the thing that struck me about Andrew is that he listens. He really listens. When we were sharing our stories about what we think was going to happen and our hopes, our dreams, Andrew really took the time to hear from everyone who was there, to learn about what they were going through. And he took the time to think about what he was going to say to all of us. And then he explained to all of us what he was going to do. What he was going to do was to do what may have been the impossible then, but what is definitely possible today, is to go run to become the President of the United States. And so today, I see a wide range of people from across the political spectrum, people from the left, people from the right, all these labels that we put on each other. But we've come together today because we believe in Andrew Yang. We believe in the ideas of universal basic income, of the freedom dividend, and the 90+ other policies that Andrew and his team have shared with the world. These ideas are going to be what pushes us forward into the future. What we're going to do to secure the bag. Secure the bag. Secure the bag. Secure the bag. Yeah. It's an inside joke today, but in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and a couple of months, this nation will be chanting "Secure the bag." Mark my words. And so I just want to thank you all for coming out, not because of any particular political belief, not because of an affiliation that you have yourself, but because you came here because you believe in Andrew Yang, you believe in humanity first. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. All right, our final speaker before the man of the hour is about to be brought up. But first, I want to do my favorite chant, which is for some of you who are political newbies here. I know we've got folks here who have not been major parts of the political process before. When Andrew comes up here, he's going to say a lot of lovely things. He'll say a lot of things like, if you look at the numbers, or by the numbers, or in the numbers or charts or something like that. And I want you all, if you got math signs out there, hold up that math sign. Yeah, there you go. And we're going to practice it now. So if I say something about math, I want you to shout math and throw your sign in the air. So if I say math, you say. If I say math, you say. If I say math, you say. There you go. That's good. One more time. I say math, you say. There you go. All right. Awesome. So I'm going to bring out our next speaker. This woman will introduce Andrew. She is a fighter, both literally and in every sense of the word. She is a former UFC fighter, an MMA fighter, absolutely. And she has fought for the rights of fighters to unionize and to come together collectively. Give an incredibly warm welcome to Leslie Smith.
Hello, Los Angeles! It's an honor to be up here addressing you as part of Andrew Yang's Humanity First Tour. I want to hear your enthusiasm for math. Can I get a math? When I say humanity, you say first. Humanity! First! Humanity! First! Gosh, that feels so good. So, my name is Leslie Smith, and I'm a California native. I was born in Santa Ana. MMA fighter. So, if you are a fight fan and I don't look familiar, just imagine me with braids and a fist up and a scowl. I was fired by the UFC because I started a union organizing drive. The good thing about that is that that's how I met Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang reached out to me and he expressed his distaste for bullies, his appreciation for the workers of the world, and he had great ideas. He showed me immediate action by following through on everything he told me he was going to do. We need a president who is not a bully, but can stand up to the bullies of the world. A president who respects and celebrates the citizens as we fight daily for a better life and who follows through on his promises. I speak from experience when I say Andrew Yang is the one. So Andrew Yang did not help me because he thought I was special and different. He helped me because he recognized I am the same as everyone else. Yeah, Yang Yang! We all put in the work every day to improve ourselves and our surroundings, but we are being left out to dry by the policies that back the corporations and big companies instead of the people. We need an administration that will work for the people. I am just one of the 36% of Americans who are part of the gig economy. That's 57 million people. The freelancers, the independent workers, the hustlers. Los Angeles knows a lot about hustling. Did anybody else get 1099 this year? Yeah, well, you deserve an administration that will work for you. During my union organizing drive, I took a solid case to the National Labor Relations Board. I had success when my charges were evaluated by merit in accordance with the law. But then, strings were pulled, and the Trump-appointed head of the board dismissed my case to protect the interests of the UFC. a $7 billion company led by a good friend of the current President Trump. Governments should help the hard workers, not throw us to the wolves to help their friends with $7 billion corporations. Human-centered capitalism. One of Andrew's 3 main platforms is geared towards maximizing human well-being and fulfillment, and that is what we need. He says our economic system must shift to focus on bettering the lot of normal people. Government has bailed out corporations and banks while average people are being sent to jail in record numbers, and that is not okay. Andrew Yang has pledged to reshape the way we measure values and progress. He says he will make the market serve us instead of the other way around, and I am here for it. For our country to be strong, the foundation needs to be solid. Corporations and dollar bills are not the foundation of the U.S. We are the foundation. The people need the help, not the lobbyist interests or the coal industry. Technological advances in automation and AI are projected to saturate the workplace and reduce the available jobs. This means the number of Americans in the gig economy will only increase. Our next president needs to be someone willing to invest in humanity, and the Freedom Dividend literally invests $1,000 a month into every citizen of this country. Andrew Yang is the only person talking about the program that will simplify and enhance the lives of every single citizen. Please make some noise for the Freedom Dividend. Social scientists, economists, and Martin Luther King Jr. agreed that providing income and health care for everyone will raise the economy, improve the education level, and enhance the quality of life for everyone here in LA and the rest of the United States. Driving past tent cities and Skid Row, it's easy to see people have problems. Our government has policies that keep the average person down. Bad policies help only the wealthy. And the wealthy are not the ones who need help. We need Andrew Yang's policies, and we have the power to vote him in. A lot of money is spent on ineffective management of government assistance programs and the fallout from those failures. Giving every citizen $1,000 a month is projected to reduce the cost to society while helping the people who actually need help. The Freedom Dividend is an intelligent solution to a real problem. This election is not about the tired and false dichotomy of blue versus red or Republican versus Democrat. We don't need to move to the left, and we don't need to move to the right. We need to move forward together. Not one to hold back his policies so he can pander to special interest groups. Andrew Yang has already shared a plethora of policies dedicated to helping humanity thrive. And they are based on research, logic, and math. The intelligent, confident leadership our country needs is found in a person who can stand up to the biggest bullies, work for all Americans, and prepare us for a strong future. I am proud to stand tall behind Andrew Yang because I believe he is the best. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can elect the right president of the United States, a person of intelligence, speak with knowledge and compassion, and inspire us with confidence and pride. Here he is, introducing the future president of the United States, Mr. Andrew Yang.
Thank you, Los Angeles. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You almost got me to say chant my name. Thank you. How beautiful are you, Los Angeles? Look at you. So we've got a lot of local news stations here, Fox, NBC, CNN, and I have to say to the people at home, don't adjust your dials. This is real. This is happening. Yes, only at a Humanity First rally will you see a giant $1,000 bill with my face on it. And math signs and drones. It's like people looking around saying, wow, is this real? But it is real. We're going to make it real together. Am I right, gang gang? Now, many of you already know this, but I am not a politician. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a problem solver. I've been trying to go around creating jobs around the country. And I was doing that work in 2016 when Donald Trump became our president. Oh, it's cool. Some of you definitely voted for Donald Trump, and it's cool. Even though I'm in LA, I mean, like, by the numbers, someone here voted for Donald Trump. It's like impossible. You know? Oh, yeah, it's math. That's simple math. So when he got elected, I took that as a giant stop sign. I was like, wait, stop the press. The country was so desperate that we elected a narcissist reality TV star as our president. And I said, okay, we have to stop and figure that out. So if you look at the mainstream media, you get a bunch of explanations for why he's our president today. Go ahead, shout out an explanation for why is Donald Trump our president today. Russia, that's one for sure. What else? Yeah, the list goes something like Russia, Facebook, Hillary Clinton, FBI, racism. And there are all of these ideas that are packed into the mainstream media, but they ignore the truth in the numbers. And the numbers paint a very clear picture that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa, all the swing states he needed to win. And now we're going to do the same thing to jobs in retail, call centers, fast food, truck driving, and on through the economy. How many of you have noticed stores closing around where you live here in LA? And why are those stores closing? Amazon, that's right, is the giant vacuum sucking up $20 billion in commerce every year, and malls and stores could survive that for a little while, but now they're closing. The black hole, the vacuum cleaner, yeah, that's right. And how much did Amazon pay in federal taxes last year? That's right, they paid less in federal taxes than you all did, than each of us individually did. How messed up is that? Very messed up. So then you look at it and you say, okay, how did $1 trillion tech company pay zero in federal taxes? How is that even possible? And you have these accountants high-fiving each other, getting big bonuses. They're going to Jeff Bezos' office and being like, Jeff, we did it. Another year, zero taxes. And Jeff's like, fantastic. Here's a big truck full of money. And they were like, yes. And then they drove home. And then they took like baths in their like vaults of gold coins, like Scrooge McDuck in those cartoons. And I'm going to say it is not their fault. They're doing their jobs. It is their job to minimize their tax burden. But it is our job to make sure they can't pay zero in taxes. Am I right, LA? So Amazon's sucking up this value
They're paying zero in taxes, and we're all left holding the bag. And this is what drove me to run for president. I was looking at these issues saying, wait a minute, it is not immigrants that are causing these problems around the country. Am I right? It is technology. It is the fact that technology is pushing our economy to evolve to a point where now we have drones doing flybys, and there's less and less need for human photographers. So these are the challenges of the 21st century. How many of you all work in technology? At least some of you do. So if you work in technology, you know what I'm talking about. You know that a lot of technology is simplifying things and speeding them up and making it so that people will have less to do later. And that is not a knock on the people who work in technology who had your hands up. You're doing your job. You're making things faster, meaner, leaner. But you know that there are other people on the receiving end of it. I have many friends in technology, and when I talk to them, I say, hey, you guys automating the jobs away? They say, yeah, I am. And then you say, how do you feel about it? And they, just like you, had your hands up, they're like, I don't feel good about it. And then say, would you like to distribute some of that value more quickly and broadly to the American people so that everyone can get along and live a little better? And most of them say, hell yes. Because they're not bad people, they're just doing their jobs. We have to create a path that works for everyone. So I went to Washington, D.C. with this set of problems. I said, look, not immigrants, it's technology. AI is about to hit in a way that's going to disrupt many, many Americans' livelihoods. And what are we going to do about it? And what do you think the folks in Washington, D.C. said to me when I asked them, what are we going to do about it? Yeah, number one, we can't talk about that. Number two, we should study that. Yeah, number three, we should educate and retrain all Americans for the jobs of the future. Yeah, and then I said, oh, I looked at the numbers on your retraining programs. And we're terrible at it. The success rates of government-funded retraining programs are 0 to 15%. And so when I said, guys, we're terrible at it, you know what they said to me to that? They said, well, I guess we'll somehow get better at it then. And then they just went back to their salad. So I was there with them having these conversations, and one of them said this to me, and I'll remember this for the rest of my life. He said, Andrew, you're in the wrong town. No one in Washington, D.C. is going to do anything about these problems because this is not a town of leaders. This is a town of followers. And the only way that we will do anything is if you create a wave in other parts of the country and bring it crashing down on our heads. And that's why I'm here with you tonight, Los Angeles. Will you create that wave with me? I heard what he said, and I said, challenge fucking accepted. Thank you, Los Angeles. Beautiful. Chant my name. So how are we going to get America through this time? I'm sorry for the TV networks if that was live. I apologize. It's like some traumatized kid in the living room being like, Mom, what does that word mean? It's like, oh, don't worry about it. You'll learn later. So how do we actually evolve to make this economy work for us all? Now, if you know anything about me and this campaign, you know there's an Asian man running for president who wants to give everyone $1,000 a month. Am I right? And the first time you heard that, you were like, no way. That is way, way too good to be true. But if you dig into it, this is not a far-out idea. This has been with us since the founding of the country. Thomas Paine was for it. He called it the citizen's dividend. Dr. Martin Luther King was for it. He called it a guaranteed minimum income in 1967. He championed it until he was killed in 1968, the following year. Milton Friedman and 1,000 economists signed a study saying this would be tremendous for America. I don't know if Milton Friedman gets applause from you all. Some people love that guy. A little bit. Some people like libertarians are like, yes, Uncle Milton. It passed the U.S. House of Representatives in 1971 under Richard Nixon twice. So it passed the U.S. House of Representatives, came this close to being law. And then 11 years later, one state passed the dividend, where now everyone in that state gets between $1,000 and $2,000 a year. No questions asked. And what state is that? Alaska! And how do they pay for it? Oil! And what is the oil of the 21st century? Marijuana. That's right, Los Angeles. It's technology. You got it right. It's marijuana and technology. It's marijuana-based technology. So what they're doing with oil money in Alaska for Alaskans, we can do for everyone in Los Angeles and everyone in the United States with technology money. The money's there. I have done the math. And we have plenty of money to be able to fund a $1,000 dividend for every American adult. In part because what are we going to do with the money when I'm president in 2021 and the dividends start getting out? Where does the money go? I think someone just yelled marijuana. But it goes back into your communities. You're going to spend it on paying your bills, on tutoring for your kids, on car repairs you've been putting off, on the occasional night out, and that money is going to make your community stronger, it's going to make your family stronger, it's going to make your kids healthier, it's going to improve our mental health, it's even going to improve our relationships. We are actually going to get along better when we have $1,000 a month. Am I right, Los Angeles? So this is the Freedom Dividend. It's going to create more than 2 million jobs around the country. And it's something that we can 100% do. There's nothing stopping a majority of citizens of a democracy from voting ourselves a dividend. Nothing at all. All we need to do is wake up our fellow Americans to the power that we possess, and we can make this dividend happen so fast. And it's hysterical watching these other politicians grapple with this, because I have to say, thanks to you all in the Yang Gang, thanks to you all in the Yang Gang, yes, thanks to you all in the Yang Gang, whenever they have rallies around the country and there's a town hall, then someone asks them this question. Someone's like, hey, there's a guy named Andrew Yang. He wants to give everyone $1,000 a month. What do you think of that plan? And then watching them try and answer that question is freaking hysterical. Because they start like hemming and hawing and looking around and being like, well, you know, blah, 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 like they have these other plans, da, da, da. And none of it makes any sense. Like $1,000 in cash is going to be so much more direct and impactful than anything we can do for our citizens. And as long as enough of us come together to make that case in 2020, we can make this a reality for all Americans in 2021, 2022, and throughout my first and second terms. So that's number one, the Freedom Dividend. The second is we have to get healthcare off the backs of American families and workers. Am I right? Now, I have to say, you all look beautiful and sun-kissed and healthy because we're in Los Angeles. You look like you spent exactly 0 days with a doctor or in some kind of healthcare situation. But I have to say that healthcare right now is like the worst of all worlds for Americans, where we spend twice as much as other countries to worse results. And when we get sick or injured, we are much more stressed out about navigating our crazy system than we are actually getting well. And that's wrong in the richest, most advanced country in the history of the world. We can change it. We can have Medicare for all, and that's what I'm going to make happen as president. And when people ask, where are you going to get the money? I'm like, are you kidding me? We're spending 18% of GDP. We're plowing so much money into this dysfunctional system. We can get the prices down and the access up as long as we start rationalizing our crazy system. And I have a lot of friends who are doctors. I'm Asian, as you can tell. But they know too. They're like, yeah, it's true. Like, our system is a bit of a mess. And a lot of them, if you get a couple drinks in them, they're like, yeah, I'm for that too. And the third thing is we have to, as Leslie was saying, we have to start measuring our economy in ways that matter to us. How many of you all woke up this morning excited about GDP? Yes, that guy was. That's funny. You know, how many woke up and were like, I'm going to make a big contribution to GDP today. I can feel it. GDP is something we made up almost 100 years ago. And even the inventor, Simon Kuznets, said 3 things. He said, number 1, this is a terrible measurement for national well-being, and we should never use it as that. Number 2, we should include parenthood and motherhood because it's so important. And number 3, we shouldn't include military defense spending because it adds no economic value. So of course we ignored all 3 of those things, and now we're going to ride GDP off a cliff. And I talk about my own family. My wife is at home with our 2 young boys right now, one of whom is autistic. How much does her work? Yeah, autism, yeah, thumbs up. I agree. And how much is her work valued at a GDP every day? How much does the market value her work at? And we all know that's perverse and messed up. We know that the work she's doing is more important and more vital, more challenging to our future than the work of the average corporate attorney or whatever nonsense. And I can say that because I was a corporate attorney for 5 months. And I can tell you that that job can be automated away very, very quickly. So those are the 3 big moves we need to make. A freedom dividend for all Americans of $1,000 a month. Medicare for all to get the prices way down and the access up. And then move towards measurements that would actually matter to us aside from this GDP thing we made up. So what would matter to us? How about mental health and freedom from substance abuse? How about our own physical health and life expectancy? How about how clean our air and water are? How about our average income and affordability, whether we can afford rent? So believe it or not, we can actually change our economic measurements to these things. And then I'm going to present them to you all at the State of the Union address every year. I'm going to have a PowerPoint deck. I'm going to be the first president to use PowerPoint in the State of the Union address. So this is the American scorecard. This is the human-centered capitalism that Leslie's talking about. PowerPoint. It's a new chant. That's right, America. They're chanting PowerPoint. And you'll actually get something out of the State of the Union that you now find unwatchable. Unlike this bizarre theater performance we're all subject to. And then people are like all standing up and clapping in unison like they're trained SEALs. What the hell is going on? Instead, you'll get something out of it. You'll get real information and then some data on how we're going to improve things. We're talking about health and life expectancy. Our life expectancy has declined for the last 3 years, the first time in 100 years. And why has our life expectancy started to decline? It's because 8 Americans are dying of drugs every hour. It's because suicides have overtaken vehicle deaths as the leading cause of death for the first time in American history. And so we're worshiping this GDP number while our people are dying. Fuck Purdue! And it makes no sense. I can't repeat that, but he's right. So if we had the right measurements, we could see how we're doing and we could make it better. And as president, I'm going to say, look, 8 Americans dying of drugs every hour, that's horrifying and unacceptable. And we're going to get it down by 50% in my first term, and here's how we're going to do it. And then I'll report back every year. What do you think? So this is a vision of the economy we have to get behind. We have to stop arguing about socialism, capitalism, this argument from the 20th century. I can guarantee you none of them saw artificial intelligence coming. And I like to quote my friend Eric Weinstein, who said this. He said, we never knew that capitalism was going to get eaten by its son, technology. Yeah, they're family. It's like capitalism, technology, and then technology's like Oedipus, like freaking killing his dad. So our politicians are literally fighting battles from the past. And some people call me a futurist. I say I'm a presentist. Am I right, Los Angeles? We can make the future the present like that when we come together. So this is the big plan. And I have to say that Donald Trump is our president today in part because he got a lot of the problems correct. Where he went around saying, we are suffering. And then what was the Democratic response in 2016? The Democratic response was no, we're not. It was actually things are great.
What a bunch of idiots!
And then And then Donald Trump becomes our president, and we still can't confront the essential problems. I am laser focused on solving the problems that got Donald Trump elected. And while Donald Trump's solutions were garbage and nonsense, like build the wall, turn the clock back, bring back the jobs, I'm saying we have to do the exact opposite. We have to move the clock forward. We have to accelerate our economy and society. And I'm the man for the job because the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math. That's right, I'm gonna beat that guy so bad I can't wait. So I want your help with me right now to spell out for the rest of the country how we are going to beat Donald Trump in 2020. And it's because this campaign is getting people who voted for Donald Trump. A few of them here are kind of shy, it's cool. This campaign is getting libertarians. This campaign is getting independents. This campaign is getting people who did not give a crap about politics until just now. This campaign is getting Democrats. This campaign is getting hardcore socialists and liberals. Democrats are looking around being like, how are we going to beat Trump? How are we going to beat Trump? How about we roll out the candidate who's getting the people who voted Donald Trump into office in the first place? Am I right, Los Angeles? We are getting people from every part of the ideological spectrum because people are fed up with the same conversations and the same food fights that never lead anywhere. So right now, I mean, you all have caught on. You guys are early Yang Gang adopters, and I love you for it. But people looked at the numbers, they broke it down, and people are asking, how are we going to win? Right now, I am polling at 3% nationwide. And that is before most people have ever heard of me. And a very smart guy named Nate Silver looked at the numbers. He did the math, and he said, wait a minute, Andrew Yang is polling at 3%. He's raised millions of dollars from everyday Americans just like you all. My average donation is only $19, so my fans are even cheaper than Bernie's. This is the cheapest gang to join you've ever seen. If you donate $20, you're an above average member of the Yang Gang. We also, if you leave the gang, we never know, and we just, like it's cool. It's not like a gang where it's like we find you. So this is a gang that's really easy to join. It's one reason we're growing and growing. And Nate Silver looked at the numbers. He said, wait a minute, Andrew Yang's polling at 3%. He's raising millions of dollars in increments of $19, and his name recognition is lower than every other candidate's. And so Nate Silver said, we cannot discount the possibility that as more people find out about Andrew Yang, he just grows and grows and grows and takes out the whole field. That is the story that the numbers say. The numbers say that we are already only one of 6 candidates to qualify for the DNC primary debates in June and July by both polling and donations. And the media is looking around being like, who is this guy? And the American people are like, I know who that guy is, and that's my guy. That's our guy. Am I right, Los Angeles? So the rest of America is going to wake up. And it's going to wake up to the fact that, wait a minute, he's talking sense. He's trying to solve the problems. And as people get behind this campaign, we're just going to grow and grow. What Nate Silver said is, no one knows what Andrew Yang's ceiling is. And I say, let's find out, right? Let's find out what our ceiling is. I've met a lot of the other candidates. They're earnest patriots. But I hate to say it, we kind of know what most of their ceiling is. We kind of know. We kind of know. this campaign, no one knows what our ceiling is. And I say, with your help, Los Angeles, we find out by 2020. What do y'all think? We are going to make history together. We are going to shock the world, and we are going to leave a country we are yet proud of for our children. We can look back and say, we stepped up. That we saw the challenges, but we were not too small for them. We actually grew. We rose to the occasion. That's right, brother. I think what he said was, build the foundation and rise to the occasion. What do we think? That's beautiful. So what we need from you all is we just need you all to initiate a couple of your friends into the Yang Gang. And all we want you to do is just send them your favorite interview, press hit, policy. It could be Joe Rogan. Give a shout out to Joe Rogan. After I'm in the White House, we're going to do a special Joe Rogan experience from the White House. It's going to be Joe Rogan Experience White House Edition with Andrew Yang. We're going to do it, and Joe's going to look at me and be like, man, I can't believe we actually did it. And then I'm going to say 100%, brother. We totally did that thing. So this is the vision for economy we have to build. We have to build a trickle-up economy. From our people, our families, and our communities up. And that vision is going to take hold here in Los Angeles. It's going to go to Nevada. It's going to go to Iowa. It's going to go to South Carolina. Now, one thing that you may all not know, how many of you knew that California actually moved its primary date up this time? So the Democrats did y'all a favor. The Democrats said, we're tired of the president being decided before California votes. And so they decided to move up to March. You all actually will be able to submit early votes around the same time that Iowa and New Hampshire start voting. How many of you knew that? So for the first time in decades, California is going to help choose the next president of the United States. Are you up for that, Los Angeles? And with your help, we can light the country on fire with the vision of an economy that works for us. We're going to make history together in 2020. Thank you all very much, Los Angeles. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to come.
There's no need to be, 'cause love is the night, don't hesitate. Get a chill on his spine and let your body groove. A little to the L-O-V-E is what I got and what you need. Get a chill on his spine and let your body groove. No one but you can make that move to get the chill.